We actually have a kind of concern about pharmaceuticals very generally, and this arises from the fact that in my graduate work, as many of you who are longtime fans of the podcast will know, my graduate work, I happened onto what I believe is a flaw in the drug safety system. I published this flaw, and the flaw basically amounts to the mice that are often used for things like drug safety testing and other experiments having been accidentally evolutionarily modified by the breeding protocol that is used to produce them, so that their telomeres, which are these repetitive sequences at the ends of chromosomes, have been elongated tremendously, and this has potentially very large impacts. Effectively, these animals have a capacity to repair their tissues so that if you poison them, but you don't outright kill them, they actually have an extremely good capacity to fix themselves, whereas we have a limited capacity. So they're bad models. Now, that has caused us, over the many years that work was published in 2002, in the many years since, you and I have a kind of uneasy relationship when we open the medicine cabinet, because we know that virtually every drug in there was tested against mice that are very, very capable of dealing with toxicity. And so we don't know. And there are lots of instances in which drugs have shown themselves to be toxic after they were proven safe in safety testing. So Vioxx, Fen-Phen, Gleevec, Seldane, erythromycin, all of the NSAIDs, all of these drugs have been shown to be hazardous at one level or another. So ordinarily in this household, we are very pro-vaccine, and we are a bit skeptical of pills.
A lot skeptical
of pills, because we know that even if you know that the hazard is there, you don't know which pills it applies to and in what way. All right. This situation, that is to say, the COVID pandemic, has put the shoe on the other foot. That is to say, in this case, we find ourselves quite skeptical of these vaccines, and we find ourselves actually favorably looking upon a pill. And the reason for that is that in this case, we are not dealing with classic vaccines that function in that super elegant way. We're dealing with vaccines that are actually extremely novel. Now, they are very promising. This is an amazing, interesting platform. The mRNA vaccines in particular, the adenovector DNA vaccine, these are things that potentially, if we can figure out how to do this well and safely, are potentially a huge boon to humanity. But at the moment, we're dealing with brand new technologies. And they are brand new technologies that have in multiple ways shown themselves not to function the way their designers had intended. As we've discussed on the podcast before, the vaccines don't stay at the injection site in the way they are hoped. The spike protein on which they are based is toxic. And the spike protein, which was modified, which was designed by those who made the vaccines to stick in the cell membrane and to remain there for the immune system to see it and respond to it, in many cases breaks free and floats around the body. That's 3.